Convention, TIC, happening July 9th to 11th at the Center of Excellence, Macoya. Doors open 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. on business days, July 9th and 10th, and 10 a.m. to 7 p.m. on Consumer Day, Saturday, July 11th. A business dress code is in effect on business days. Park and ride services will be available from Constantine Park and the UE TGR North Car Park on all 3 days, with additional service from NAM DevCo on July 9th and 11th. Register online at www.ttma.com/tick and attend free. The deadline for free registration is Wednesday, July 8th. After that, admission is $50 at the door. The Trade and Investment Convention is proudly sponsored by the Ministry of Trade, Investment and Tourism, Exim Bank, Ballroops Group, and Robust Security Network Limited. Don't miss Trinidad and Tobago's premier business networking and investment event. We look forward to seeing you at TIC.
Get ready for Generations of Steel, the sweetest pan show bar none.
Featuring Desperados,
Shell Invaders,
Massey Trinidad All-Stars,
First Citizens Supernovas,
and the pride of the South, Fun Clear. Plus their talented youth bands. Saturday, July 11th.
at the iconic Grandstand, Queen's Park, Savannah.
Showtime, 6 p.m. till 10:30 p.m.
All performing their most exciting and multifaceted repertoire. Coolers allowed.
Early bird tickets.
2 persons on 1 ticket for only $350.
The quadrophonic tickets admits 4 persons for only $600.
The single pan tickets cost only $200.
By public demand, early bird tickets remain till Saturday, 4th July.
Additional $10 off for online purchases.
Children 12 and under, accompanied by an adult. Admission is free. Get yours now. Available at ICNTT.com.
At Crosby St. James.
All Kenny Sports.
All Extra Foods Supermarket.
Westby, Tagarigua, Athletes by the Park.
Jumbo Foods Barataria.
Yak Electrical, opposite Starlight. Tigger Martin, Main Road. Tarp Office, Belmont. Mirage Westside Supermarket. Arima. Anderson Fashion, opposite Citygate. Western Union, Tuna Puna, and all participating bands. Presented by Super Pan Man, Dane Gulston and Friends.
Supported by CCNTV6, The Express Newspaper, and I-95.5 FM.
For more info, call 732-3402.
WESN.
Inside this edition of the 868, we have with us Roel Rollocks of Aswaj. Trinidad and Tobago often has these little gems that are hidden, and Roel and Aswaj represents that. Have you ever considered, when you start a small business, how are you going to get it out there? How are you going to make the quantum leaps like Bertie's made and is now on Amazon? How do you do the things if you have a specific country in mind to trade with? How do you achieve that? Well, Roel and his team are there. They are these concierges who have people on the ground and who understand well how to get that communication and that connectivity going. But to better speak about it is Roel. I can't boast about his business. I can only marvel over the time that I've known Roel, what he does and what he represents. So Roel, what's it all about?
Very good day, Darren, and thanks for having us on Aswaj. That's the name. I like to think about it this way, you know, we assuage fears, we assuage concerns, and that's really what we're about, right? And of course, these concerns treat with growth and expansion. How do I move from where I am to where we believe this company, our businesses can really make impact and make a difference here, regionally, and even abroad, globally? Yeah.
How old is the company?
The company, we started in 2018. And what we've done really is pull together a team of experts in export management, marketing development, business consultancy, you name it. all right? And we have probably just over 60 years of experience in all those fields combined, all right? To really treat with the various issues that come up when a company thinks about scale, expansion. Well, it's a popular word now, as you would know. Everyone is talking about scaling, right? So we discovered that there was a really great need for businesses to begin to think beyond borders. Don't see yourselves limited and trapped by our size, by our bank, by our locale or geography, and see the world as an oyster.
So 2018 to now, you must have a lot of case studies in your back pocket now. You must have helped a lot of businesses and a lot of people along the way. Give me some examples.
Well, what sparked us off was, as I shared earlier, the way we are set up, we have what we call concierge services in a number of countries and states. So right now we are in Barbados, we are in Guyana, we are in Suriname, and we are establishing some in some of the other territories. We're working on the Dominican Republic, as it were. We also have in Nigeria, Ghana, and Qatar, and recently Dubai. A lot of these are Trini people, Trini businessmen on the ground who have a real feel for how business is done and how to expand. So what really sparked our growth really was an opportunity to get involved in Qatar. So we had an associate in Qatar who was there at the time in the area of health and safety, and there was this demand for support for the upcoming World Cup. And there was a need to help localize businesses there and provide a range of things for a lot of the food and beverage sector. And this was our kind of entry, you know, into providing this kind of support.
Segue into this world.
Yes. So we were able to provide support for persons who wanted to go there, set up shop, right, as well as be part of the food and beverage expos. So we had a number of Trini businesses being exposed in Qatar.
So what about if there's a country that you don't have some boots on the ground? What happens there?
Well, it's all about networking, and our network is expansive. So I don't think there's any way that we can't get to. And really, and to emphasize the impact that Trinidad and Tobago professionals are having across the world. So whatever market you can think of, we have a way of contacting somebody on the ground who has Trini roots, who is excited about business expansion. So there's no way that we cannot touch.
You're in the right program. This is the 868.
Of course.
Roll, all of that sounds interesting, but I guess it mirrors or it hinges based on geopolitics. And we've had quite a bit of political changes over the last 2 years. We've had some wars, we've had some regime changes. And so if I were to start from Ukraine, Russia, and come forward, bearing in mind, how does that impact what you do and what you do for and on all of our behalf?
Well, what the current environment, and they often refer to it as a VUCA world, is volatile, uncertain, complex, and ambiguous.
Say it
right?
again, say it again.
Volatile, uncertain, complex, and ambiguous. Right?
You've heard it here.
So a lot of the way how businesses are setting themselves up is to deal with that uncertainty and that rapid change in the market. It means being small is not a disadvantage at all, because it gives you the opportunity to flex. All right? It means being evidence-based, looking at how data is changing. It means having a number of risk management strategies in place, because as you know, the supply chain, which is affected by all these wars, is something that really has a great impact on small states, all right? So you have to set up in a way that you can move, you can adjust, and you can adapt to whatever is happening in the marketplace. Yeah?
So this is a classroom today. You said we no longer have to jump on a plane to do business. Being small could be a competitive advantage.
Yes.
What other pearls of wisdom you have for us today?
What I would encourage any business to begin thinking, it's a mindset, right? First, understand just selling is not enough, right? You have to understand business development and market development as strategies moving ahead. Selling feeds you for today, but business development feeds you for tomorrow, all right? So we're talking here about understanding the markets outside, or connecting with someone who can. In our case, we're willing to help, all right? Seeing that whole funnel in terms of getting business that is ongoing and sustainable as more than just this one-time act. So we're talking about building connections. We're talking about understanding. You mentioned the geopolitical landscape, understanding the role of technology. So we're talking about understanding our environment. And the challenge, I guess, for a lot of business persons is that they're busy making product, giving service, all right? And this is certainly where a swage can come in to help provide the market intelligence to make sure that businesses are making the right decisions along the way. So I think that's another key, all right? A big part of what we do also treats with readiness, all right? We found quite a number of entities want to engage in export or moving beyond their current confines, but they're not ready. And we're talking compliance here, all right? Are your records in place? Are your statutory, are you meeting all your statutory requirements, all right? Is your positioning in place in terms of how you present it on the social media, all the paraphernalia that you need, are all these things in place? So we spend a lot of time in preparing persons to be ready, even ready for financing, which is a big part of it, because in our value chain, we move from getting persons to be aware, which we do through our podcast, of what the opportunities are. Then we get them to understand, is this market that you're seeing feasible? So we do a lot of feasibility studies, all right? Invariably, once a company has determined that this makes sense, they have to start thinking about finance in some way. And a lot of our work is to get them ready for finance. And finance here could be debt financing, could be equity financing. We get together to find partners to help them move on. So these are some of the things that people really need to be looking at all the time. Am I ready for the opportunities that could exist? Some of that could be as simple as OPR. You know, the procurement registration. There's so many businesses that still haven't registered on board, and that as well is readiness and opportunity, yeah?
Well, and the OPR gives training regularly towards using the platform. I want to stay on the SME and MSME models and what is going on with them. You and I met in that kind of world, and we understand well that someone can have a dream, but that dream, to get that dream from point A to point B to point Z, is a Herculean assignment. It takes a lot of order. And I want to stay with the order, and I want to stay talking about it, because we take for granted what we know and what we don't know. And in many ways, when WSN, for example, was formed, it was a way to fill the voids in society that existed amongst the media. It was a way to partner with the creatives. It was a way to help us learn. We were coming out of the pandemic, and so we were able to see, we gave the public psychology shows, we gave them Law Simplified, we gave them Madam Fix-It, things to help you. We gave them a show that memed what is going on in the parliament as the 42nd member of parliament. And so we understood what we wanted to do 5 years ago with WESN. But coming back to the 868, we're talking about small businesses. We're talking about pipes and dreams. And we're talking about understanding that if you don't have an accounting mindset, you need to get the help. We're talking about registering the business, finding the right name. Look at how you found a name that is like a hammer, hit on the nail, exactly what you do. We're talking not just about picking the right directors, picking the right people, networking. We're talking about, as you alluded, social media, because you can't exist without utilizing that tool and utilizing it effectively. It's not just about putting up things. There are analytics involved. Everything is data-driven. You said it. And on all my platforms, I speak to data, because without data, that's your guiding tool. Beyond that, in understanding a business, you have to, as you've said, register the business. You've said it. We have to do the things necessary to make sure we're out there. you could have the best idea and it could come to nothing. We've seen it and we understand it. And so in this landscape, this localized landscape, we have many chambers. I think sometimes I feel we have too many. I mean, I could say that, but the reality is there are main ones with specific, they're champions of business, there are those who focus on the services industry, there are those who are localized to communities, which is an even more powerful tool. And quite recently, we have the PSOT being formed. It is mirroring the Jamaica model of the PSOJ, and so we understand well what is the intention of the business minds behind it. But all of them are somewhat doing similar things, and all of them, even though initially their targets were different, are honing in on the MSMEs and SMEs. And so the question for me to you is, if you are one of these MSMEs, who do you go to? Who do you feel gives you the best value for buck? Who do you feel will network you? Who do you feel has a Rolex there who could take your pipe dream and take it to Dominica or Barbados or Qatar? Who there could help you with labeling? Who there can help you? And many times it's about how you speak, how you project. Toastmasters, referring you to a Toastmasters class. Who will show you that it is all a chessboard and you have to be a player on the board to even play the game? I asked a lot of hard questions.
Really challenging, you know. You're talking about some real structural issues that some of it certainly beyond assuage. Definitely, we believe we're one of those that can help in that regard. But one of the things I believe it's missing, I think we have these entities, these associations, these chambers, but I think we need something in between, right? I believe we need smaller clusters of businesses, homegrown clusters in communities that then can connect with the larger ones. I think this is the missing link, all right? Because to step up to a chamber, some feel intimidated, some can't even carry the registration, the annual subscription fees, all right? But if we have some homegrown, smaller groups, all right, and we need a bit of them, I can see trust being formed, I can see relationships being built, and that really is the hurdle for us to climb over. So for example, we've had to deal with persons. Someone might come and say, listen, I'm making juice, and that's very popular now, or I'm doing pepper, but how many pepper sources can we have? You understand? How many?
There are a lot.
You understand? So one of the things we envisage is where we can create these clusters to help people pool resources and come together. It's even something that was echoed by, I remember being at an agricultural conference, and the consultant said the same thing, right? You know, we really need to begin pulling these smaller groups together. I believe entities like a Swage can help, right? Where we can deal with the 5s and 10s at a time, right? And then we can link up with the larger entities.
Now, when I raised those points, I didn't talk about global and the ministries and these people, because these entities themselves are doing what we're speaking of. They did. I was a part and I was privy to a lot of the cluster meetings by way of, if you're agro, if you're cocoa, if you're carnival-centric, whoever, we're broken up into what we feel is our biggest export capabilities as a country, and I expect shortly we will see the latest version of our trade policies being enacted. But when we consider all of that, I hear what you're saying of finding a middle ground, a middle barrier, and perhaps those powers could figure out how to do that.
I can give you an example. So I was part of a group that NEDCO had at one time, called LIFE, the Laventil Initiative for Entrepreneurs. And what we were able to do was to deal with some small group, a small group of entrepreneurs. I think we had some people in agriculture, we had beauty, I can't remember all the different entities represented, but we were able in a concentrated way to deal with this group, have them networking, have them building synergies, because certainly there are things that they could supply to each other, right? So I'm thinking, this is what we need to do, a lot more of this. But it means having that level of entrepreneurial focus as a priority, because to now approach, let's say if we just take one of those entities to approach the larger associations, even the Ministry of Trade, we're going to find a lot of attrition and a fall off. And I think that we really need that middle ground.
Well, maybe you and I could get together and make that middle ground. But the truth is, Roll, you wear many hats. You are also a trainer and a facilitator. You don't just look for it for profit. You are, in essence, giving it back. And so I applaud you on that. And I know you have an upcoming workshop. I hope the guys could put it up on the screen. But tell us a little bit about it.
Well, we are part of the Trinidad and Tobago Coalition for Services Industry, and they have an upcoming mission in October 12 to 16 to the Dominican Republic, one of the rising stars of the Caribbean. And we felt it would be valuable for this and any other mission that persons are embarking on to have what we call a clinic. It's we call it a cross-border clinic, where we help prepare persons to take advantage of these missions. So it means we're going to take them through how they position themselves, how they prepare for contracting, how they do their pricing, all right? And everything that is needed to facilitate an effective mission and make sure that they reap something out of it. Because I know we have a lot of missions. People go, they shake hands, but you know, we want to make sure more comes out of it for the SMEs.
I applaud you on trying. I applaud you on this initiative. I wish you and the initiative great success. What else do you do by way of training?
Well, in the area of training, we cover quite a number of areas. Everything from team building sessions, strategic planning sessions. We do a lot of productivity training, which is a key thing, especially now with, you know, with this AI. This AI has really shifted the game, all right? So how can you get more out of your workers, your employees, or even as SMEs, how do employers get the most out of their own work? So we have that productivity training that is going on as well. We also have a lot of training in readiness, all right? Whether it be financial readiness or readiness as it pertains to making sure your statutory requirements are in place. So those are some of the other areas that we cover as well.
So, Roel, you are a non-stop shop for helping entrepreneurs get their desired outcomes. That's what you are in a nutshell. And that's a good thing. And so I hope Trinidad and Tobago, the diaspora, looks at you and finds you and helps you achieve the goals that you set out way back in 2018. Is there anything else you would want to say to Trinidad and Tobago here on the 868?
Just to add that if you're a small business out there, don't see your size, right, as a disadvantage. Begin to shift that mentality, given how the world is now connected, given what's possible online, given the kind of support systems are available. You can make a difference. You can impact your world. You can impact your space, right? And Assuage is definitely there to help businesses achieve this.
You have a registered office?
Yeah, well, we're registered in the thing always slips me, right? We have a registered office in South, right? And you can also get us online on all the Facebook, the social medias, YouTube. We also have a webpage. If you look for AssuageBusinessDevelopment.com. Yeah.
And you said you do a podcast.
Yes.
What's the name of the podcast?
Caribbean Business Podcast. And we deal with a number of issues that pertain to getting a business out there, growing a business, scaling a business, and we're also available. You can get us on YouTube as well.
Well, you're a man of many hats. That's a good thing. And so I'm happy that you are able to tell us what is the gem that you are able to provide for all of us. Roel, it's been a pleasure having you on the 868. Looking forward to having you sometime soon, maybe in this seat, because what Roel is promoting and what Roel does matters. And so perhaps some of his networks, he can have reach out to some of the networks in the other places and show us
Certainly.
how these connections work and how you, through role and assuage, can make your dreams come to reality. Folks, this has been the 868, and I am your host, Darren Lee Singh. I'd like to thank you for listening to us and watching us. And remember, guys, the only way to the other side is through.
WESN.
Good morning and welcome to Psyched. I'm your host, Sule A. Joseph, a counseling psychologist by profession.